Hello and welcome back to the special edition of the Ospreys Eyrie podcast. It is me, as always, James. Not joined by Yestin this week. He's probably still camped out in a WRU press box somewhere, or in Sardis Road, sort of counting however many staff members are leaving this week. But I am always joined by Robbie, who is sporting Namibia jersey this week.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the calling just takes you to support Leslie Klim for hours on end, days on
What a
end.
man!
Yeah.
What a man! Um, Not a regular pod this week. We are joined, and we are so lucky to be joined by. Let me just get this right. I'm gonna read off my crib sheet here. Um, he is Welsh Rugby Writers Association Young Player of the Year, 22-23. Ospreys Elite Youth Player 2018-19. He made his debut Wales under 20s with some class players. He's now amassed over 100 odd appearances for the Ospreys. It is, of course, Morgan Morris. Morgan, how are we?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, a little bit nervous to be on there, but I'm good to go, ready to get into the deep of it.
No need to
Surely
be.
after, the CV that's just been read out and having played 100 plus times, do nerves still strike you before games? Are you still kind of in that ballpark, or is it just speaking to two, you know, incredibly charming, handsome strangers?
More just to speak into the two handsome
Yeah.
strangers gets me more. Yeah, but,
Good answer.
no, I suppose still sometimes I think I'm a lot better pre-game now. I think
Hmm.
when I was younger, probably the build up to a game, the sort of day of the game was always quite bad for me when I was younger. But now the last couple of years, I've sort of got used to that feeling, and now it's just as I'm walking onto the pitch would be the only time I really get hit with. Oh, I need to catch this first kick off, basically, or I need to catch the first ball is the only time I really get hit with any nerves.
So your American's in Penclouth is your junior rugby,
Yes,
but
Penclow.
your old man was a bit of a Swansea rugby legend, wasn't he?
Yes, he well, Dunwant Rugby was his main team. He did unfortunately play for Knechtley as well, so I got that in
We,
there earlier.
it's
Um,
it's it's like a gap year. You just don't
yeah,
talk
yeah,
about it.
it took a
Okay.
couple of years to do that, but yeah, he had a couple of clubs. He had Born and Mine. I'm sure he did Treorchy as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's been about a bit. He did a bit for Swansea Whites as well when he was younger. So yeah, he had a lot of a lot of his games were Dunwant now his main game. So a bit of a rivalry going to Penclough when I was younger. But it was the team I picked, and the to be fair, he supported me with it the whole time. So
So was he a driver in you, picking up rugby and essentially becoming a rugby player?
well, I probably picked it up quite late in year six when I was 11 or 10. I was always football, so I
Okay.
always played football for Dunbar and Three Crosses, and then I started in school. So my school teacher in Penavero Primary and Dunbar just said, "We want you to come along and play a bit of rugby, try it out." And yeah, I enjoyed it as soon as I first started, and then we were looking for a club to go to, and a lot of the people who I played with and close to in school went to Penclough. So I managed to go to Penclough and didn't really look back since.
That would have been with Reese Davis? Were you been the same age?
Yes, me and Rhys Davis all the way from then, from 11 till now. So we've had a long time together, us two.
God, I can't imagine. I can't imagine coming up against you in junior rugby, considering how, especially Reese Davis, who is the hardest looking bloke I think I've ever met. I always say I played against Kieran Williams in junior rugby and
Yeah,
Ruben, and once we played against Kieran and he dropped me on my head,
I think he
and
did that to a lot of people
the ref
too.
just whistled play on.
Well, funny enough, we lost the Osprey Cup under 16s final to Ruben's team
Oh
in
Underneath
wow.
that,
Hatton Faf on the Brewery Field. Still,
yeah,
obviously, it's not still hitting hard, but
many
it's
people
still
lost that
still.
Neath team. Many people
We
did.
yeah, it's a ref's fault, mine, but I
Yeah,
won't say too much.
Ruben did nothing, I bet.
No, didn't know he's playing that game.
So from you in the Ospreys under 16s then.
Yeah,
So in that great RAF kit. Remember that kit?
Yeah.
Wore it for a development game once. It stunk. It
Fully out,
genuinely
yeah. Normally
never. I don't
did,
think it was ever washed. Um, but then, so when did Hartbury College come into it then?
So around the time of the end of the 16s with Ospreys, and we were starting to do the Wales under 16 stuff. They sort of got in touch around then, and then there was a Wellington under 16 rugby festival for Wales under 16s. We went up there, and one of the coaches for Hartbury was up there and just said, "Oh, we'll see you up there. We'll have a chat and have a look." And I think they liked what they saw, I think, and just gave me a ring and said, "Do you want to come up and see the facilities?" And then I think if you ever seen the Hartbury facilities as a 15-year-old, it's unbelievable. The sort of the gyms they got, the pitches they got, the whole way it's set up is absolutely unbelievable. And it was when they were next door to Gloucester Rugby, so it was such a good opportunity for me to sort of do something probably way out of my comfort zone. So yeah, as soon as I saw the facilities up there, I said to my parents on the car on the way home, I think, oh, I've got to go over there. So I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to do that as well.
And you had a I'd say pretty decent time over there and played in a pretty strong Hartbury team over what was it, 3 years?
3 years, yeah. I did 2 years at the Ace, so the college team. I didn't lose a game, so it was a pretty
Oh,
good
wow, okay.
2 years, and
No more
then
Ruben's team there.
no, thank God. And then my third year was with the Bucks, so the uni
Okay.
on the Wednesdays. And yeah, we won the Bucks League. We only lost one game that year, so in my 3 years, I only lost one game against Exeter Uni. It was down in Exeter, so it's not a bad running for 3 years.
Yeah, that's pedigree.
Tough old place to go.
It was a tough place. It was a tough place there, Exeter. But yeah, we had some great players there when I was at Hartbury. Like Seb Nigri now, Italy back row. He's our captain when we were there. Harry Randall was there with me as well. So we had some awesome players. A lot of English Championship boys now as well. So there's a lot of pedigree that's come from that team as well.
Wow.
So you'd say obviously you're the most successful out of that, though. None of them have won, the accolades that you have.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
So am I right to say, were you involved in the Gloucester setup at all?
Yeah, so I did a year. So when I first got down there, I did a year at Bath under 18s, Bath Academy. And then so I got left with someone down there, and I obviously couldn't drive because I was still just turned 17 in my second year, so I couldn't get to the Bath trainer anymore during my second year. And then Gloucester approached and said they'd be happy for me to come and have a go, basically. So yeah, I did a year then at Gloucester Academy the second year.
Would that have been like T. Reese Thomas was he at Gloucester then?
No,
Or
it
Dragons?
was
I know he coaches the academy now.
yeah, it was Neil McCartney. He was an old Leicester prop or hooker, I think.
Okay.
He coached us. So I think Guesty, Richard Whiffen now, he's the Wales
Oh,
20s
well,
coach. Yeah, so he did a bit with us as well. So there's a lot of just them guys.
So from there then, Wales under 20s was it? Or was it Swansea first?
Wales under 20s, yeah. So I was under 18s in Hartbury, and then 20s my last year of Hartbury.
So I did a bit of research in this because that under 20s, that period of under 20s was really strong for Wales.
Yeah.
And so we do a feature on here where we play good player and we look at team sheets from that period. So I've dug out I think your debut was against Scotland away.
Yes, yeah.
So the team that day, so there's a couple of players who you're still playing with now, or you'll definitely have been close with. So Rowan Williams at fullback, who was from Cardiff, great player.
Yeah.
Robbie, you're a great player. Yeah. Had that horrible injury right before he was about to go on that Wales tour. What could have been?
Corey Baldwin, was at Scarlets. I've just spent some time at Exeter as well.
Dragons.
Cameron Lewis at 13.
Yeah.
Keith at 12.
Yeah, spent a lot
Um,
of time with Keith growing up as well.
yeah, my condolences. Ryan Combier at Scarlets,
Yeah,
who I think he was on the way to getting the record for most under 20s appearances. I think Jason
was
Strange
he?
did him.
Oh,
I think
okay.
he,
I
Morgan
didn't know.
Morse is the one who broke his record.
Yeah, and he's still got another 5 years at under 20s
Yeah.
walking more to
yeah, I think he's 14. Yeah.
do.
Ben Jones at 10 and Dane Blacker at 9.
Yeah,
Dane Blacker's still around now. Uh, Into the pack then, so you've got Aled Ward, James Botham at 6, and Will Jones at 7, who's captain. Will Jones
yeah,
is a fantastic player,
Mm.
yeah,
really
yeah.
great 7.
He was pen cloud with me as well, with me
Is he
and
pen
Oh,
Nick.
clouds as
really?
well?
Yeah, so there was another one added to our team.
Alex Dombrandt at
Yeah,
5,
yeah.
obviously when he was in his Met phase.
He's
You would have played
scoring
against
that.
him at
Yeah,
Met,
he's
wouldn't you?
scoring about 1 million tries a game for
Yeah, he was
Cardiff
a
Met.
freak,
So, yeah,
absolute freak.
the most Cockney Welsh under 20s player ever.
Sean Moore, who was at Pontypridd at the
Yeah,
time, Azarati, Corey Tarrant, and Reece Carey. On the bench, then you've got Owen Hughes, Steph Thomas, who's obviously now at the Ospreys,
yeah,
um, Chris Coleman, Dragons, Max Williams, who's now back at Newport,
yeah,
yourself, obviously, Ruben, Ower Robson, and then Phil Jones, who he was for Bay,
Mm.
wasn't he?
yeah, yeah.
But we,
He's another Swansea uni boy as well.
yeah, he was a Swansea uni boy. Yeah, I remember watching Phil at uni.
Yeah, we had a
Um,
pretty good team to be
it
fair.
was a good team, and you just sort of look, there's players there now you've sort of elevated
Yeah,
to status, but I think if we're selfish and we look at our boys there, we look at Kieran, Ruben, yourself, now you've got Steph in there, Ryan, you boys have gone on to, I think you three in particular have gone on to play really consistently for your club.
Mm.
And obviously Kieran got, got his chance at international level, but ultimately you've all just, tore it up for a regional side. And it shows that the system worked essentially,
yeah,
and that's what you want. And, I'm sure they were great memories in that under 20s side.
100%. Yeah, we had a lot of good memories. I think we had some poor memories as well. The England game in
Yeah.
North Wales was quite a shock, but we were looking back at it the other day, and I think their back row was Tom Curry, Ben Hill, and Zach Mercer. So
Oh, okay.
it's not yeah, it's not a bad back row to come up against at that level. And the likes of them three have all gone on to be world class players, international. So yeah, it sort of shows the competition that was there at the 20s level, and that is always going to be there at the 20s level going forward. So it's an awesome sort of thing to have, and yeah, like you said, it shows that what can happen from that 20s teams and the pathway.
A lot of whooping and hollering in that back row, I imagine.
I think
A
that
lot
must have
of,
been before the big Saris.
a lot of
So it wasn't too
celebrating
bad.
knock-ons and free kicks. So Swansea RFC, who Richard Lancaster gave you your debut, who's obviously
Yes.
now your commercial director.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now
Lanky, we got on very well.
he gives you your sponsors. Does he give you more sponsors than the rest of the boys now?
No, I think he gives me less than ever now. It's not from them days, but no, we had good fun. I think I played 27 games for Swansea, roughly around there. So yeah, a good 2 years was there. I think my debut was against Aberafon at home. Um, so yeah, quite a good Abraham team chasing me around the field trying to kill me for 80 minutes. So it's quite good fun. But yeah, the year we had with a lot of us academy boys going there as well, like sort of Will Griffiths, James Ratty, I think even Ruben and Keith played a game or two there. So yeah, we had a lot of the young Osprey boys there, which made it a lot easier to go to Swansea and help them out a lot as well.
Couple of good nights out on Uplands afterwards then.
Oh yeah, 27 nights out I think as well. 27 days.
So Richard Lancaster said, there's an article Wales Online wrote, and they sort of went to Richard Lancaster, and he talked about you never give anything, anything up basically. He commented a lot on your size. It was obviously just after the Japan World Cup where Japan essentially reinvented how a team can challenge. And Robbie, you'll be better placed to say this than me, but a lot has been made about you're not 6'6" at 8, you're not 115 kgs of
Yeah,
pure muscle, but yet your numbers, even all the way down to when you're in your Swansea days, to I look back to that Southern Kings game that's often talked about, but
yeah,
you were brilliant in that one. To now is you're constantly over the gain line, you're constantly drawing defenders in, and a lot's made of that. Is that something that you pride yourself on? Is there numbers, or do you not think too much about them?
Probably not so much the numbers, just the fact I love carrying the ball. Like it probably get a spark in my eye every time I get the ball. So the more I can do it, the more I probably enjoy my rugby, and that's probably how I summarize my games after I play is how many touches on the ball do I get, how many carries do I get, how many meters have I made, sort of not just on the numbers, but I just want the ball as much as I can. So I sort of I game up on the more carries I have and all
Apologies.
that. No worries.
So from the Swansea, then you sort of get into that senior setup, and probably a really tough period to come into. So obviously you made your debut in the Anglo-Welsh Cup
Yeah,
against Wasps, and we were talking just off air about the team Wasps put out that day, sort of
Mm.
compared to the Ospreys one. But
yeah.
how was that? That first time putting on that senior jersey in the Anglo Welsh.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. Sort of as a kid, like being around Swansea, always like knowing by the Ospreys, always liking the Ospreys, supporting them is awesome to then play for them and support them. And I think because of the team we put out, there's a lot of us youngsters in there as well, so it probably made the transition a bit easier to going into the first game with a lot of our friends and stuff. And I think we put up a good hand for ourselves challenging that game because they did come with a lot stronger team than us, you'd say, and we did put our hand up and stay in that battle for a long time in the game.
You had alongside you like Kieran Williams making his debut, Ruben, James Ratty
Yeah,
Ruben's making his first start, James Ratty making his debut. Like there was a lot of you that have gone on to have these really solid, really good, like 100 odd game careers. And yet, at the starting point, that must have made it so much easier to look up and go, okay, this is where we're at. Look where we've come from, as you're mentioning the schoolboy days.
yeah. Of course it does. Just well, everyone wants to play rugby with their friends, and so well
Yeah.
the fact we can do it at professional level, and it probably makes things easier now as well because we're so tight and we've been tight since we were probably 15, 16. We sort of on good wavelengths with each other on the pitch, so like we know Ruben's probably going to show and go and make a line breaks. We know to support him. Keith's going to run through a brick wall every time he gets the ball. So we got that good understanding of each other and what we do. So it's awesome. It's awesome for us to have that sort of bond we built since we were kids. Yeah, all the way through to now. Probably 10, 15 years later.
Did that help them? Because obviously Ospreys went through a pretty poor period. It's well documented, and I don't want to bring up bad memories or anything like
Yeah,
that. But you know, we all, as fans, remember that period
Mm.
well. And a lot is made about that Southern Kings game, but
yeah,
there is the flip side on that. That was sort of your announcement to the the rugby public that there's this back rower here who's was used as a 7 initially, but I know Richard Lancaster played you a lot as an 8,
yeah.
and he's here. So how was that period as a young player? Because obviously you're really new to the environment, and there's probably an element of, well, I'm just grateful to be here. But how was it during sort of that time? How
Um,
hard was it to stay positive really as a squad?
yeah, it was definitely tough. I think we won one game that year, my first proper year playing full time the whole year. So it's obviously tough, especially from coming from only losing one game in 3 years at Hartpury. Then I
Yeah.
think even at Whites, we went on a year unbeaten streak at home with the Whites against like the Mayfaires, the Cardiffs, the RGCs. We beat all them at home. So the things we were doing before that, I was winning a lot of games. So to go from that to obviously having that really tough year was hard. But I suppose as a youngster, I was still just wanted to get out there every week and sort of put my hand up to show what I could do at the professional level. I think we were all in the same boat where there was a lot of us youngsters there together. We all wanted to just show what we could do at that level. So it was tough, and don't get me wrong, we all wanted to win games like that. We went on the pitch to win games every week, but the fact it wasn't coming was a tough period for us. But I still think we can look back and be proud that we went through that period and we played them games, sort of thing.
And then you get into the start of the following season with obviously Toby coming in and a lot changing, and suddenly you are playing really regularly. I think it's the moment at which a lot of people start to really sit them and take notice. The Edinburgh game, the performance you went against Worcester off the bench, that must have been a big change suddenly, both to the environment and then also to suddenly have people talking about you and looking at you very differently.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think as soon as Toby came in, you could see there was a change. He wanted to bleed our group, sort of thing. We were the group of youngsters he wanted to bleed through and play. And yeah, there was some crazy times. Some of the games after, like the Worcester game, my phone went mad, and I had like a few hundred notifications on my phone. I was like,
Wow.
what's going on? I just came on and tried to play rugby and make an impact. So no, it was awesome to do and see, and then we got some good wins that second year or sort of rugby, where I played that Worcester game away, obviously coming on and helping us get that victory. It was good. Yeah, it was a good start to Biffy's reign properly.
And then towards the end of the season, you moved back to 7 for that Leinster game, which I think Toby recently said was one of his best moments with the Ospreys. How was that as a moment that, no one gave you a chance and then to come away and win that
Yeah,
from nowhere?
it was crazy. It was yeah, it was absolutely crazy. I think after the game, we were all just hugging each other and like, I can't believe this has happened. The unfortunate thing was that it was COVID, so it
Yeah.
wasn't a crowd, and we had to fly straight back after, because you can imagine
Oh,
a night out in Dublin after being
yeah.
it would have been absolutely unbelievable. But it was amazing. We get to the even when I think we were down by 15 point or 10 points
Mm.
with 10 minutes or 15 minutes to go, and I think we were still thinking like, oh, we can do this. It doesn't matter that we're down by that much against the best team that's been in the league. We still believed that we had it there and it was for us to take. So yeah, when I luckily I shinned the ball through and got in there and helped Woggo score, and then JT got his charge down and we scored. We were all ecstatic, and it was an awesome feeling on the plane back. We were all still chuffed. Just yeah, absolutely one of the best feelings ever. That was.
Because you've been involved in some big wins, and I suppose you get into the season afterwards, and it was a strange but arguably poor start to the season. We draw down at the other team. We have a really tough run in of South Africans and Irish,
Yeah,
and then you know we go into the Champions Cup, and you see we had that really tough start against Leicester where we probably should have won.
yeah,
Um, and probably everyone wrote us off there. And then sort of came Montpellier away, so what's your, obviously quite still recent, but what's your memories of Montpellier away? Was there a belief that you could go out there and win, or was it, did you surprise yourselves, or?
yeah. I think it definitely was a belief. We sort of just played when we were just trying to have fun. I think that was probably the most surprising thing to all of us. We were like, oh, whatever happens, we're going to go out there. We're going to have fun playing against the French champions. This is the first time a lot of us played in the stadium. It's going to be an amazing night, big crowd. Let's just go out there, have fun, and play some rugby. And I think we did exactly that. We had some fun and played some good rugby when we were there as well. So yeah, another one, the same as the Leinster one, to win that away. The celebration after was amazing. We had a great time on the pitch and a great time off it celebrating as well. But yeah, like you said, nobody backed us. You got the English champions and the French champions in our
Mm.
pool, and yeah, we would put to go dead last, get 0 points to then come back. We had 3 wins, and we did a great thing in that Euro run.
And obviously that try lives in the memory of a lot of people. Beardy with that missed pass.
Yeah,
Did he try and take credit for that? Is he,
I think he should take
orchestrating?
credit for that. That's probably a very underrated thing for a big
Hey,
lock to throw a 20-meter pass it perfectly to my hands. So I think he should take a lot of credit for it.
Speaking of taking credit, right? You were visited by like a furry little goblin, I think, a few days before this, to play Jonah Lomu rugby.
Was that when you came in just before that?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I think it was the week before. And I obviously immediately afterwards took credit enormously for inspiring you into that performance.
Yeah.
Is there any truth in that whatsoever? No,
You
please
have to
shut
come
me
back
down.
in the next two French. We got two French
Yeah,
away games. You have to come and play some more John
back
Lumu
to
with us
back.
again. Yeah, just to see. Um, well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to
what did
find
you
out.
prefer, the John Alomu or the Mario Rugby Sevens?
I think the Mario
Oh
was
yeah,
more
yeah.
fun. I think Johnny was a bit hard to grasp for me and Gref.
It's an absolute nightmare. Like I tried to play it in the hotel the night before and was just like, oh, this is almost unplayable. I should have brought something else. This is gonna be a
Yeah.
nightmare.
We should have spoke to Sean. Man, he's still got Rugby
Yeah.
08 or Rugby World Cup '99 in his kit room. So
He was getting up photos on his phone of the time he beat James Hook like 100-0 on
uh,
Jonah Rugby
they play
afterwards.
all the time after training. All the time they go into his room and
Really
play. They got a lovely little tournament going on. I think.
have to join in next time.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, obviously we talked then about the sort of the Leicester away one, and I think Robbie, you were there.
Oh,
You could write a memoir about that.
I could honestly, as like someone that grew up as Ospreys fan, the family from the area, but like in the East Midlands, like I'd been to Wolford Road constantly for preseason friendlies and European games and so on, and they'd never won. And then doing it in that fashion, the last minute, like with that
Yeah.
conversion, was maybe the best moment of my like rugby watching life. I loved it. It was just like a bit of me is still there in my seat at Wolford Road, like
Yeah.
losing my shit.
I think
Uh,
the best moment of that match, with maybe nobody would probably know about, would be when we were on the bench going to warm up, and we walked past the Leicester bench, and Ben Young said to Rhys Henry, he said, "There's no way he's 25." And Rhys Henry walked past and went, "What did you just say? What did you say to me then?"
I bet he wasn't saying that. I bet Ben Youngs ran down the tunnel after the game.
Yeah, well, after he came on and had 4 scrum pens, I think he was pretty happy with what he did.
yeah.
So.
I
I've got to
remember.
ask actually about the thing that's more recently come out about your little pre-match tradition with the glorious man
Yeah,
himself, Rhys Henry.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know why it started, but it must have been a couple of years ago now. Yeah, maybe 2, 3 years ago. I've just gone up to him, and it was when he first shaved. He proper becked his head, so it was lovely and shiny. And I thought, oh, I was going to give him a lovely little kiss on the forehead before he go out. And then since then, I think pretty sure I even got man of the match, or I won, or we obviously won. And yeah, since then I was like, I'm gonna have to just do it now for every game. And he comes up to me and he offers his head as well. So he's more than accepted of it as well.
A little ritual sacrifice. What did you do while he was been injured? Like, did you have to find him in the
I've been
stand somewhere?
struggling. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
struggling. Yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough trying to do it.
So now he's back.
Yeah,
This is
now he's
it. This
back.
is
It's
the form
perfect.
turning
Yeah,
around.
back
Yeah.
to.
Um, so yeah, then I think in terms of we'll come to where we are now. Basically, you probably had your year last year. I think I think you've had great performances in the past. I think Dragons at home when you scored that hat trick.
Yeah,
Um, Montpellier away, but then you look at your performances last year. Talking Scarlets at home, that lovely game against Lions at home, Sale
yeah.
in the European Cup, do you do you feel it, it's you progress as a player, or do you feel like it's a combination of this group just sort of still taking steps forward? Is it very much a team effort, or do you feel that, you personally are growing, um, at exponential rates?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a mixture of both. I think looking towards definitely the last 6 months of last season, I'm becoming a more well-rounded player defensively. probably put my hand up more defensively and showing that's probably a lot to do with Mark Jones coming in now and probably sitting down and chatting to him over the period about defensive stuff. And yeah, it's been a pretty good year last year, like you said. But as a team, we've grown so much as well over the last 4 years, 3 years. We've gone from a group of youngsters like trying to play rugby to a group of probably senior players who want to like take control of the game and sort of do that. So I think it's definitely a mixture of both myself growing personally and then the team becoming probably a more well-rounded and complete team.
And how is that group? You're seeing probably the next evolution now with even younger guys coming in. You could probably put Harry Deebs in that, Harry Houston's, Morgan Morse's.
Yeah.
Do you still feel like that young kid in the squad, or do you now feel like that elder statesman, even at 26? But you've been
still feel
you've
young, yeah. Still feel young. I think I've got a lot of rugby age on me, playing 100+ games, but I still feel young. But then we did a thing in the training the other day where we lined up from youngest to oldest in the team room just before a meeting, and I was in like the top three rows, and I was like, oh my god,
Tipper stood outside, is he?
Yeah, and Tom Beaufort was taking the meeting. So
Reece Henry down the end though, and no one saw it coming.
Nobody believed them either. So again,
Morgan Morse still being picked up from crash.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know I'm sort of developed probably in the last year into a senior player in the squad, and being probably a bit more of a leader around the place. So that's probably a big thing on me, which I've grown in confidence over the last year of being that leader and being able to speak confidently where it's needed to be said. So yeah, that's probably the main change for me, was just be a leader around the park rather than still feel young at times, but still being a leader around when I need to be.
Two other quick moments, I think, in Cardiff, kind of is both in Cardiff is kind of notable moments, I think. First one being that last game of the season, the last year, that Judgment Day game where, again, I think a lot of us sat there watching on TV or just following the scores and just seeing everyone come in one by one that you needed. And then knowing the job had to be done. How was that as a day?
Oh, it's crazy. It was absolutely crazy. We got to the Village Hotel in Cardiff, and all the games, everybody had a group here and there where they were sitting on the table with like 4 phones out and like, oh, that game. And then the day before, obviously, like 4 games went our way, and then the day off, another 3 games went, and we're like, what is going on? It's like, but it got to the point where we were like, all right, look, it's on us now. No matter what happens in the other games, let's just focus on us. We were going there to win by a bonus point anyway, so nothing really changed. What we had to do was probably just knowing that we did have the thing to move on into the next stages of the competition. So that was huge, huge for us, and we were just chuffed we could do it for you guys, the fans, and for ourselves as well, that we could get knockout rugby for the Ospreys. So that's where we deserve to be every year.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely fantastic. And then I imagine that feeling when you scored the 4th and then 5th try, and then, getting the final whistle must have been, after a year of building up to it and thinking, is it possible? Is it coming? That must have been huge.
Yeah, it's massive. I think we were all screaming for a while, just blow the whistle, please, just blow the whistle. But well, I think if you watch the documentary, obviously we see there's a lot of the 2%. I think we're down to 2% for about 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So for like we said, we'd love being the underdogs. That maybe normally strive and we're the underdogs. So to be at 2%, you can't get a much bigger underdog than that. So to go from that to getting through into the knockout stages, we were chuffed.
And I suppose the other moment in Cardiff, a couple months later, Billy Joel. How was that? How was Billy Joel amazing in the stadium?
It was absolutely amazing. He's really my favorite artist, singer, whatever. Yeah. And he was absolutely amazing. My partner got it for me for Christmas, and what a great night, to be fair.
It's quite a interesting music taste for a younger man. I remember reading an article on Rugby Pass when Milo was around. He put on a tune, and Josh Thomas didn't know what the tune was, and Milo just walked out of the gym. Is that still who's in charge of the music in the gym
We got Lucky Dye and Harry Deves mainly, but sometimes Keelan Giles as well. But them two are, yeah, the music's all over the place. To be fair, there's not many words. There's always just heavy,
Can't
heavy,
imagine.
heavy beats. Yeah,
Yeah,
Giving
I
it a
wouldn't say
song.
no. I wouldn't say no to Harry Deeps, to be honest.
You just let him crack on, and then
Put my own headphones in and crack on.
You're not slipping Uptown Girl in. You're not,
it's not, I don't want to ruin the boys' jam session. I don't think they'd appreciate it too much.
I think they would. It put
Piano
me
Man
up.
finish.
But
We'll have
then
to
maybe
see
that's why
now,
I'm not a
maybe.
professional rugby player.
I think I'll get shouted at and shunned out the gym for the day. But
Um, so you talked about, and a lot is made of how close the squad is, but it genuinely is like it is a squad of mates who have come up together. So, I think of yourself, Ratty, Kieran, Ruben, Will Griff, Reese Davis. Matt Prothero could be in that when he was there. Things that,
yeah,
how much of a benefit is that to a team environment when it is literally just playing with your mates?
yeah, it's awesome. Everyone wants to play for each other, and I think we can also have quite honest conversations with each other, which is definitely needed in a professional environment. If something needs to be changed, or if we think this or that, like especially with the coaches as well, which is probably the best thing. We're quite close as a coaches and players, so I think there's a lot of good to having that squad together, that we can have conversations about stuff, and nobody takes things to heart. We just know we're just trying to make everyone better and try to push on to the next level. So it's such a good sort of trait to have as a squad.
Any stick for James Ratty for traitor into Judas into Cardiff, or
I don't think anyone spoke to him for a year, so
oh, that's fair, that's fair enough. That's what we want to. That's what we want to see. I think we're not gonna keep you much longer. We're gonna transition to some quick fire ones. So now's your
Okay.
chance to
There you
to
go.
to twist the knife into some of the boys. So I'll start. Right, who is the best and worst dressed at the Ospreys?
Oh, best dressed, I'd say Jack Walsh.
Okay.
Just looks cool and everything, to be fair to him. And yeah, I think everyone knows the worst dress is going to be old Hugh Sutton, isn't it? So
Poor bloke. Gets rinsed every time.
Again, I'm suspecting Hugh Sutton's coming up. Funniest, least funny in the squad.
Oh, funniest. Oh, it's got to be Reece Henry for me. I think being growing up together since we were in academy, he's just can't. I just can't help but cry laugh at him whenever he makes jokes. He's so funny. Least funniest. Trying to think.
It's a harsh question.
Uh, least funniest. Uh, don't find any of the boys not funny. I don't think so. I'm gonna abstain.
No one's jokes falling flat in TV.
Yeah, not yet, not yet.
Oh, interesting. Okay, who's the best and the worst trainer?
uh, Best trainer probably Harry Deves. I think just because he goes 100 miles per hour no matter what, even if he's in a red bib where he's meant to be non-contact, he's still smoking people. So it's hard not to give him best trainer for that. And then worst trainer, I think from previous is Hugh Sutton probably again. Sorry, Hugh.
Uh, Back
Which
in the day, it was Ashley Beck. It was 1 day on,
Was it?
3 day off.
Oh, nice.
Was what
Sounds good.
which is your favourite Player of the Year trophy you've earned?
Oh, the players player one,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah, I think that's the one everyone wants to win, and to get your peers, yeah.
Who was your rugby idol growing up?
Um, I always loved Dwayne Vermeulen and Justin Tipperick, to be fair. So don't want to make Tips feel too old, but yeah, with them two,
Two good
my
players.
two whenever I can think when I was younger, thinking about rugby, it would be them two. I'd always look up to.
Did you ever
And
play against Dwayne?
Yeah, when he
You
played
did.
for Ulster.
Oh, yeah, of
cool.
course,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, away to Ulster.
And I remember asking you this back, when the hairy goblin played general rugby. But I asked, do you ever get used to playing with Justin Tipperick, having been an idol? And has that sunk in yet? A few years down the line.
No, still not. Still some of the stuff he does in training and in games, you're like, how can he do it? But yeah, he's unbelievable. He's an unbelievable person and an unbelievable rugby player as well.
Tightest bloke in Chabanos. Still owes
He's tough.
hundreds of quids in fines for Chabanos youth,
Does he?
2016. That's a different story. What's your favorite thing to do outside of rugby?
I'm into golf at the minute. Yeah,
Okay.
so last couple of years I've been playing a bit of golf. So yeah, I can't. Well, obviously it's not the weather for it at the minute, but
Well, how into are we saying? You don't Machanis or you don't go sign and pitch and putt? Because I'm very much the sign and pitch and putt end.
No, I finished the pitch and putt now. I moved on to the actual courses. Like,
yeah, I know golf is very popular in the squad at the minute.
Yeah, there's a lot of keen golfers. There's a lot of good golfers as well. Not
Tommy
me, mate, but
supposed to be
Tommy Both, yeah, he's a little bandit. He's a
the
bandit.
sniper. Who's the best and worst dancer on a night out?
Oh, good question.
God, I think we're struggling to find the best.
I imagine Lukey Moggs likes a two-step.
Yeah, Lukey Dye is a good dancer.
Okay.
Yeah, he's confident with it as well. He'll throw shapes, and then worst is going to be probably Husat.
Yeah, I've witnessed that.
I can't picture it at all. I can't picture it.
Yeah,
No.
I've witnessed
It's
it.
all limbs.
Yeah. Nagy was up there as well.
And
Nagy,
likewise, best worst voice, best karaoke, best however you want to interpret the singing question version.
Okay. It's going to seem biased, but Reece Henry's going to be best karaoke again because I think everyone in the squad knows he's got the best. Well, the Leicester video as well, yeah.
Yeah, House Rock. Yeah.
Elvis reincarnated. Those hips.
Some of the songs he's got are amazing. The boys absolutely love it. So,
have you banned him from Billy Joel just to stop him ruining your favorite album?
How do I want to hear him sing it? I think he'd be good. I'll probably put myself up there for worst. I'm completely tone deaf. Yeah, but I think I'm so bad the boys laugh. So, it's probably a good and the bad.
You got to pick the right song. You got to pick a song when no one cares. If you get
Fix
it wrong,
You by Coldplay, I sing. So,
okay.
So I can go really high, and I can't go high at all. So it sounds even worse.
That's the trick.
To play into the hand you dealt.
And then your dream opponent.
Oh,
so obviously you've played against Dwayne already. Who's your dream opponent?
Oh, of all time, or
you can go of all time.
I think I'd go Dan Carter. Carter, I think. Yeah, I think imagine just watching him just flow and do whatever he wanted to do.
See, I'd go Dan Carter in about 2018 when he couldn't run, and not Dan Carter in 2005. He kept when his pockets were weighed down by all the money.
Yeah, maybe. I think I'd rather watch him run round him.
Robbie,
just sort of, obviously we're going into a second half of the season, into a big block now. What's the vibe like? How are you all feeling heading into this kind of, back end of this year?
Yeah. I think obviously it's a tough 8-game block now, I think, but we probably haven't done the best we could this first block, and we're obviously all disappointed from that. But I think more looking positively onto this next block. Now we got 2 big Christmas derbies, which we know are must wins. 4 big European games, which we always get excited for. So I think it's a huge block for us now, where we're probably looking positive at it and trying to fly into the game and try to get as many points sort of out of it as we can.
And injuries starting to sort of ease up a bit. I think big players coming back. You got Fender, Will Griff coming back,
Reece Henry's shiny head.
Yeah, Reece Henry's shiny head. A couple of the I don't like using the word, but fringe boys getting run out on the weekend. It's probably a nice feeling to have heading into what Robbie said will be a tough block, and ultimately, the Christmas derbies, which if you're an Ospreys fan, is the one you live for. Is beating the Scarlets. 100%. Is that always high up on your?
Yeah, every year it's always high up to beat the Scarlets home and away. But yeah, like you said, it was an awesome game to have the weekend. Just gone to have the boys coming back from injury to get a run out, get their confidence back, and then also like you said, the fringe players or the younger players get a run out as well. I think it was an awesome game to have, and it was an awesome spectacle down St Helens. Probably looking to the future of what rugby can be like in the next year for us. So
You're
yeah, I
very
think
much looking forward to that, aren't you?
yeah,
St.
hundred
Helens.
percent, hundred
Yeah.
percent, 100%. But yeah, like you said, the boys coming back, bolstering up our squad now. I think that's huge for us with the likes of the big boys like Griff, Fender, Liam Edwards, and Henry coming back. That's an awesome part of our squad coming back.
Well, absolutely brilliant. It's Morgan. It's absolutely fantastic talking to you.
Yeah, just before, if you don't mind, I've got some
Yeah.
questions for you too. If
Oh, okay.
You absolute. Oh no.
Okay.
Right,
They
come
are
on then.
all rugby related, so it's not too bad. But what is your favourite try for the Ospreys?
Oh, that I've scored. No, no. I was playing a game of touch with someone else in an Osprey shirt the other week, and like putting someone else in an Osprey shirt was like living a childhood dream I never got to live. Um, oh man, no, probably that Jack Morgan try at Wolford Road, though
Okay,
Shane's in
yeah,
2012 last minute was pretty good as well.
Yeah.
But love a
yeah,
last minute winner.
yeah. Fair.
I will go with Luke Morgan against the Bulls a couple of years ago. That put us in that interception that put us in the Champions Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember
Good one.
being well. There was two things that happened that game. There were two Bulls fans in the stadium who had a fight with each other and got escorted out. But then everyone was leaving, but then stood up. And then when Luke ran that train out, I've never heard the place go so ballistic.
Yeah, that was a good one. I put an answer for them as well. I had Tips's against Montpellier at home.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
of
Chip
course.
through and
yeah,
then
yeah.
Silo we gather in
Yeah.
and put it on the left. And
Yeah,
I'm kind of involved in it as well, so I had to put that. I
The
get
Yeah.
glorious touch.
absolutely melted by Willems at the start, so I'm sort of involved in
Who
that one
didn't
as
that
well.
day, to be
Yeah,
fair?
exactly,
Luke's a
exactly.
monster.
Your favorite Ospreys kit of all time?
Oh,
I'm I really liked the season before last, I think, but I think the one I'm most drawn back to is the gold one. You know, I think it was like the era when I
Yeah,
was like the right age to be really, really invested that season, and they had that, you know, great run and the went on to win the league and
yeah.
that famous you know, Biarritz game.
mm,
Yeah, yeah. I think that I'm going to go with the gold kit.
Okay.
I will go the Batman kit.
Yeah, I thought one of you would say
Yeah, only because it popped up my Facebook memories like 2 days
yeah,
ago. But I'll always say that any kit that Philo Tia wore.
yeah, yeah. But
The,
mine
the,
was do you know the one which had the purple like
Yeah, yeah,
cross
yeah, yeah.
intersected
yeah,
them
Love
ones
that.
there?
I think I've
Yeah.
got that one
Oh,
somewhere.
I used to have it when I was a kid. That was
It's in
my
my
one I
blood.
wore to training. Like I loved that one. That was my favorite one. Um, the best live rugby match you've ever seen? Actually gone to and seen?
Ooh.
Oh, as like the best quality game or like favorite, because that
Favorite. Yeah,
Wolford Road one is right up there. I think,
yeah.
you know, not to keep coming back to the same game over and over again. um, but that was, you know, and I think also because I was sat somewhere you couldn't see the big screen at all, you know, for the
Oh,
roof
okay.
bit closing it
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
And so like there was just a load of us sat in complete silence, like waiting, watching the ref, having no
yeah,
idea
yeah.
what was happening
What
and just trying to
happened?
read it by
Yeah.
the rest of the crowd. That was great. That was at the Wales Scotland game in 2010 where Shane scored in the last minute
Oh,
to win it.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the
Nice.
other one, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I genuinely, when Shane scored, like it was just genuine white noise. Like I couldn't make out that it was cheering or anything around. No, that was
Slow
great.
noises. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna be really hipster. I got two. There's one. It was Swansea Uni versus Cardiff Uni at St Helens.
Okay. Yeah.
But then also the return fixture at Cardiff Arms Park where we beat them there.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
And then the other one would be Ospreys Munster 20 whenever we beat them in the semi-final.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
2012.
I say we beat them, we battered them. 47-10. And yeah, Tipperick smashed O'Gara, and it was the biggest cheer of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be
Well, wait, what about yourself?
Well, mine's a bit back. I haven't watched a lot, to be fair, but because I was injured and I watched Ospreys when we beat Ulster last year with Dan Edwards as drop
Yeah,
kick.
yeah.
I think
Oh,
that to watch was such
so
an
good.
amazing game from start to finish, and then the way it ended as well. Yeah, the way everyone ran on, celebrated, and then they
Is he
realised they
still
still had to
living
kick
off that
off.
now?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, especially for Dan, for such a nice kid, young kid, to come in and show everyone what everyone probably at the Ospreys knew he could do, and to see it live happening was an amazing one to watch. To be fair.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Was your best moment for the Ospreys? Your best moment watching the Ospreys, or
Or
anything to do with the Ospreys?
I don't want to keep coming back to the same one. The
So
no, I was hoarse for days after that. I actually had a Leicester fan as I was getting my train back afterwards. Uh, there's a Leicester fan, two Leicester fans next to me at the station. One of them saying like it's just really selfish of them to play for the win because like a losing bonus point would have been enough. I just can't believe they did that. It was really inconsiderate. That was good. I mean, again, the Shane try in 2012. There was a game, but the other one is the game against Edinburgh on Ethan Phillips's birthday,
Yeah,
shortly after the accident, which I think felt like a huge moment of this squad that you're a part of becoming, I think, really special to a lot of us, supporters watching. It
yeah,
felt like a big moment of kind of everyone connecting, and then
yeah,
Toby crying post match, and that felt huge. That was like
yeah.
that was an amazing game.
For me, the game where we beat Ulster, where Aled Davis charged it down right at the end. Well,
Yeah.
the season, I think that's the only
The
game
face
we won
charge
all
down.
year. The
Yeah.
face charge down. And then I think Montpellier at home,
Okay. Yeah.
because it wasn't a shock that we won. I just think there was so much going on in Welsh rugby at the time, and the constant rumors about mergers or getting shut
Yeah.
down or things like that. And it was just nice. It was just pure joy from start to finish.
So of all time, what would be your dream back row of all time?
Oh,
Oh.
you arsehole. How have you done this now?
You don't have to include me though.
Go on, Robbie, you go first.
Are we going worldwide or just all-time Ospreys back row?
Worldwide. I can go first if
Right.
you want. If you want.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
Please. I'm
so I've
desperate.
got Justin Tipperick,
Yeah.
Dwayne Vermeulen, and Jerome Kano.
Oh,
I
that's
think,
pretty good.
yeah. I was
That's
close.
pretty
I think
good.
Jack Morgan's going to be on the bench as well. So, but that's very biased. I think.
Oh no, tips are straight in.
Yeah.
I there's so many though. It's so tough. I mean, Pocock is right up there. Kazuki Himeno, the Japanese back row, I love. Like I love
Yeah.
watching him. He's one of my favorites. Those are the first three to come to mind. So I'll take that as my back row. Himeno at 8, Tips or Pocock. One of them can play 6.
Both ways, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure I'm missing loads. I mean, Khaleesi, yourself. I could go for hours.
Mine's really easy actually. I've gone Jerry Collins at 6,
Oh, of course.
Justin
Yeah.
Tipperick at 7,
Yeah.
and then he's not on 8, but Thierry Dusautoir at 8.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
With Philo Tiatia on the bench then.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, they were all close to be fair. Jerry Collins, Titia, and Dusautoir were all very close. Very close
But
to
then,
me as well.
if we just did it Ospreys, it'd still be just as difficult because
Yeah.
Ryan Jones, Jonathan Thomas, Marty Holler,
Yeah.
all these amazing players yourself, fuck it, I put Sam Cross in there for that Saracens away performance. That got him a Wales call up. Yeah. Oh, that's a horrible question.
Sorry.
No, that's great. No, I'm
No,
really
these
thinking
are
about this all
brilliant.
night.
Just to end on. So 3 current Ospreys you'd like to go to dinner with. So have a night dinner, maybe a couple of drinks after, but with not
Oh.
myself included. So
Not yourself, okay.
Yeah, so you'd have to be nice and save me. You can pick 3 others.
Oh, I mean, I when I was, the second time I was in with yourselves, like I very briefly said hi to Tips, and that was
Yeah,
the only time I think in kind of I've got kind of used to being in kind of rugby environments. So the only time I felt like genuinely quite starstruck with it. But I think kind of there, I think probably Tips. Can we count Toby? Toby would be. I feel
yeah,
Toby would be a
yeah,
great dinner guest. He's
yeah,
just got that vibe.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and Derry's always, Derry's strong contender off the top of my head. God, but
Yeah,
I could
nice. Good for
happily take any of them.
you.
I'd be fascinated what Harry Deeves would contribute.
Yeah, he's a
Time.
good dinner guest. I think
Reese
he is a
Henry,
good
yeah.
yeah.
Depends on the sort of dinner. If it's out in a restaurant and it's fancy, probably not taking Harry Deeves
Yeah.
with all the best love in the world.
Obviously, Stephen Milo would be there for you
Stephen,
still playing. Wouldn't he?
absolutely,
Still
yeah,
left.
yeah.
I'd pay. Even though he's basically a millionaire, I'd still pay. I think for me, out of just pure interest of what goes on in his head, James Fender,
Yeah.
look, just seems like a spaceman, like just out of it.
Be a big dinner bill. 100% be a big dinner bill. He eats a lot.
Yeah, big dinner bill. Oh, I can't say Tipperick because he coached me, so
Yeah,
that's
okay.
cheating.
Yeah.
Someone like I'm gonna throw out and say Lukey Dye again for comedy
Oh
factor.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then someone like Will Greatbanks because that's a story I want to hear. Like
Okay. Yeah.
that
Nice.
accent, French. Yeah, it's
playing in the Pro Day,
It would,
how many
yeah,
bite marks has he got?
How was it down there?
Nice. There's some good dinners then.
Yeah, I feel like my bill's going to be a bit more than
Yeah,
everyone
especially with
else's.
Fender there, Jesus.
That boy can eat.
Right, that was my
your
last one, if
question.
that's all right.
That was
No,
a
that's
brilliant
great.
end
Yeah.
to what has been an absolutely fantastic interview. So, Morg, thank you so much for coming on, giving up your evening.
Thank you for having me, guys.
No,
thanks for doing
absolutely.
this.
Yeah, that's it from us. No main pod this week. We're gonna go wallow in self-pity over the Wales results, but look forward to the proper rugby being back soon.
Yeah, we're almost there. Almost back to rugby that matters.
We are almost there. As always, you can find us on the regular socials. You can find me at Ospreys Eyrie. You can find Robbie on Blue Sky, at Squidge Rugby. Morgs, you're not really a big social media man, but we can find you at Morgan Morris.
Yeah, I'm there somewhere. I don't want to use it, but I'm on there somewhere.
Any Billy Joel related questions,
Send
you
it
can
over,
ask
yeah.
Morgan. Yeah. Thank you so much, and we'll see you all again soon.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.